My dear friends, have you ever wondered why, despite eating healthy foods, staying active, and doing everything your doctor recommends, your legs feel weaker than they used to? Why does climbing stairs feel like such a challenge now? Why does getting up from your favorite chair take longer than it used to? Are you starting to think it's just another part of getting older? Or could there be something silent working against you from the inside? What I'm about to share with you today might completely change how you think about your daily nutrition, because sometimes the problem isn't what you've stopped doing. It's something you're doing every single day, believing it's helping you, when it might actually be causing harm. Most people over 55 make this same mistake every single day. They do it with complete confidence, thinking they're taking care of their health because they've heard their entire lives that fruit is healthy, that fruit is natural, that fruit is good for you. And yes, most fruits are beneficial, but there's a truth here that almost nobody talks about. Not every fruit is good for those of us who are navigating our golden years. In fact, some fruits that we consume multiple times per week without thinking twice about it could be weakening your legs, creating knee pain, worsening inflammation in your joints, and making it harder for you to enjoy those daily walks you love so much. These are fruits that are marketed as healthy choices, but they might be undermining your mobility, your balance, and the strength in your legs that you've worked so hard to maintain. You see, as we age, our bodies undergo significant changes that we don't always recognize. Our circulation isn't what it used to be. Our metabolism slows down considerably, and foods that once made us feel energetic and strong can begin to work against us. This is especially true for certain fruits that seem harmless with their sweet, appealing taste, but they carry acids, sugars, and other compounds that can disrupt your blood sugar levels, increase inflammation in your joints, and literally drain the strength from your legs. The worst part about this process is that the damage happens slowly, quietly, and almost imperceptibly. You might not notice anything wrong until one day you experience a sharp pain shooting through your calf muscle, a persistent burning sensation in your thigh, or that strange tightness in your knee that appears even after just a short walk around the neighborhood. These symptoms don't just appear overnight. They're the result of months or even years of consuming foods that your body can no longer process the way it once did. Today, I'm going to reveal the 6 most dangerous fruits for anyone over 55, especially if you want to protect your legs from pain, weakness, and future complications that could limit your independence. These fruits look innocent enough, sitting there in your fruit bowl or tucked away in your refrigerator, but they're not as harmless as they appear. After you hear what I have to share with you, you'll never look at your morning fruit selection the same way again. So please stay with me through this entire presentation if you value your strength and want to keep your legs feeling solid, secure, and pain-free. Your body might just be waiting for this wake-up call that could change everything about how you approach your daily nutrition. Before we dive into these specific fruits, though, I want you to know that this information comes from understanding how our bodies change as we mature, and how certain foods that served us well in our younger years can become obstacles to our health and mobility as we age. The first fruit on our list is one that has always been praised for its ability to reduce inflammation, but for those of us over 55, it might actually be doing the opposite of what we hope. I'm talking about pineapple, that tropical, juicy, refreshing fruit that, because of a compound called bromelain, has gained a reputation as a natural anti-inflammatory powerhouse. But here's what most people don't realize. This same pineapple that seems so beneficial might actually be sabotaging the strength in your legs without you even knowing it. The reason this happens is because pineapple contains high levels of both acid and natural sugar, and that sugar isn't as innocent as it might seem, especially after we reach our 50s. Our blood vessels become more sensitive over time, and they simply can't handle those sudden spikes in blood sugar the way they used to when we were younger. When you eat pineapple, it delivers a significant surge of natural sugar into your bloodstream, and this causes your blood sugar levels to rise much too quickly for your body to handle efficiently. What happens next is that this rapid increase in blood sugar begins to damage the tiny blood vessels that are responsible for feeding your legs, your feet, and your muscles with the oxygen and nutrients they need to stay strong and healthy. Over time, your circulation deteriorates and less oxygen reaches the muscles in your legs. The result is pain, fatigue, swelling, and that heavy feeling in your legs that appears even after a short walk. Your knees might feel stiff when you try to stand up, and your ankles might ache even when you've been sitting most of the day. But there's more to consider about pineapple's impact on your leg health. Beyond being sweet, pineapple is also highly acidic, and this acidity can irritate your joints, particularly if you're already dealing with inflammation or arthritis. It's like throwing gasoline on a fire that's already burning. Some people actually report that their legs feel heavier after eating pineapple, as if their strength is slowly draining away. And if you're taking any medications, particularly blood thinners, you need to be especially careful, because that bromelain compound can interfere with how your medications work, either making them too strong or preventing them from working as they should. The most concerning aspect of pineapple's effect on leg strength is that it doesn't cause immediate, obvious symptoms. Instead, it works quietly in the background, gradually undermining your mobility until one day you realize that you can't walk as far as you used to, or that simple activities like climbing stairs have become much more challenging. The heartbreaking part is that most people over 55 never suspect that the fruit they're eating with hope for better health is actually contributing to the weakness in their legs. So what should you do with this information? You don't need to develop a hatred for pineapple, but you do need to become more aware of how your body responds to it, especially if you've been experiencing leg pain, unexplained swelling, or a general feeling of weakness in your lower extremities. The damage might be subtle, but it's very real, and recognizing this connection could be the first step toward regaining the strength and mobility you've been missing. Now, if pineapple, which is supposed to be anti-inflammatory, can cause problems, imagine what the next fruit on our list might be doing to your legs. This fruit is soft, sweet, and famous for supporting muscle strength and providing potassium, but it might be deceiving you in ways you never expected. I'm talking about the banana, that convenient portable fruit that's been called the athlete's best friend and the muscle's perfect companion. Bananas are soft, naturally sweet, packed with potassium, and everyone says they provide energy, prevent cramps, and support healthy muscles. But for those of us over 55, the story becomes more complicated. You see, bananas contain high levels of natural sugar and a type of carbohydrate that your body digests very quickly. This means that shortly after eating a banana, your blood sugar levels spike dramatically, and your body begins to develop resistance to insulin, the hormone that's supposed to help regulate your blood sugar levels. When this becomes a regular pattern, eating bananas frequently and experiencing these blood sugar spikes, several things happen that directly impact the strength and comfort of your legs. First, your blood flow becomes compromised, inflammation increases throughout your body, and your legs begin to feel the effects. Walking becomes more challenging. Climbing stairs triggers that familiar ache. Your legs feel heavy after meals, and your calf muscles might tighten up without any clear explanation. You might find yourself needing to sit down more often during activities that used to be effortless, but the problems don't stop there. Bananas also tend to cause your body to retain more fluid, and this is especially problematic if you have any heart-related concerns. When you combine this fluid retention with the inflammatory effects of frequent blood sugar spikes, you end up with a perfect storm of symptoms: stiff joints, swollen feet, aching ankles, and that persistent feeling that your legs just aren't as strong as they used to be. The effect is silent and gradual. You eat bananas, thinking you're strengthening your muscles, but you're actually losing strength without realizing it. The most frustrating part about this process is that it doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow, day-by-day accumulation of effects that eventually becomes noticeable when you find yourself struggling with activities that were once second nature. You might blame it on age, on lack of exercise, or on some other factor, never suspecting that your daily banana habit could be contributing to the problem. Moving on to our third problematic fruit, we have something small, charming, and beloved by people who enjoy snacking throughout the day. I'm talking about grapes, those little bursts of sweetness that seem so innocent and refreshing. But grapes pack a powerful punch when it comes to damaging your leg's strength and mobility. The problem with grapes lies in their extremely high fructose content, and this fructose takes a direct route to your liver when you eat them. When your liver becomes overwhelmed trying to process all this fructose, which happens more easily as we age and our metabolism slow down, it begins converting that fructose into fat and uric acid. This is where the real damage to your legs begins. The uric acid that's created from eating too many grapes doesn't just disappear. It settles into your joints, particularly in your big toe, your ankles, and your knees. Once it's there, it creates a burning pain, swelling that makes your shoes feel tight, and that uncomfortable sensation that nobody else can see but you feel every single day. Have you ever experienced a sharp, stabbing pain in your big toe at night, or felt a strange heaviness in your calf muscles that you couldn't explain? It's quite possible that your grape consumption triggered these symptoms. Beyond the uric acid problem, the fructose in grapes also increases general inflammation throughout your body, and inflammation is one of the biggest enemies of mobility and comfort in your legs. When inflammation levels rise, your legs lose their lightness and flexibility. Stiffness increases, and walking becomes a chore rather than a pleasure. The deceptive thing about grapes is their size. They're small, so you tend to eat them mindlessly. You might have a few with lunch, then a few more as an afternoon snack, and before you know it, you've consumed a significant amount of sugar that's now working against your leg health. The sugar accumulates quickly in your system, even though each individual grape seems insignificant. But hold on tight, because our fourth fruit is even more treacherous than grapes. This fruit is light, refreshing, gives you that wonderful feeling of hydration, but inside your body it acts like pure sugar. I'm talking about watermelon, the summer favorite that seems like the perfect healthy choice when you want something sweet and satisfying. Watermelon is light, juicy, full of water, and everyone assumes they're drinking pure health when they eat it. But there's a detail that nobody talks about. Watermelon has an extremely high glycemic index, which means it raises your blood sugar almost as much as eating candy would. For those of us over 55, these frequent sugar spikes create serious problems because our bodies no longer regulate insulin as efficiently as they once did. This metabolic chaos generates inflammation exactly where circulation is already compromised, in your calves, ankles, and knees. The result is fatigue, persistent aches, stubborn swelling, and that feeling like you're climbing a mountain when you're really just walking up a flight of stairs. Sometimes this overwhelming tiredness in your legs is directly related to your watermelon consumption. The most deceptive aspect of watermelon is that it feels light and refreshing when you eat it, but it acts like a sugar trap inside your body. You might eat one slice, then another, and without realizing it, you're overwhelming your legs with sugar, inflammation, and fatigue. Before we continue with the remaining fruits on our list, I want to take a moment to connect with you personally. If you've made it this far in our discussion, it tells me that you're serious about taking care of your health and maintaining your independence as you age. That means a lot to me, and I want you to know that you're not alone in this journey. Here's what I'd love for you to do. If this information is opening your eyes to connections you hadn't made before between your diet and your leg discomfort, share your story in the comments below. Maybe you've been eating one of these fruits regularly and are now wondering if it's connected to some of the symptoms you've been experiencing. Or perhaps you've already noticed that certain foods seem to make your legs feel worse, and you'd like to share that discovery with others who might be going through the same thing. Your experience could be exactly what someone else needs to, here to start their own journey toward better leg health and mobility. Now let's talk about our fifth fruit, which is a breakfast favorite, loaded with vitamin C found in juices, salads, and home remedies. But it can also be a powerful source of acid that targets your knees and joints. I'm talking about oranges, the bright, cheerful citrus fruit that represents health and vitality to so many people. Oranges smell wonderful, have that vibrant color that catches your eye, and they've become a symbol of good health in our culture. But for those of us who already have inflammation in our bodies, oranges can actually make things worse rather than better. The reason for this lies in their high citric acid content, and this acid can irritate tissues that are already dealing with inflammation. If you have arthritis, joint pain, or any kind of ongoing discomfort in your legs, oranges can be like striking a match near a pile of dry leaves. They can ignite pain that was already smoldering beneath the surface. You know that feeling of stiffness when you wake up in the morning, or that persistent ache in your hip after sitting for a long time, or the swelling that prevents you from walking as comfortably as you'd like. Your daily glass of orange juice, or that orange you have with breakfast, might be the fuel that's feeding these problems. There's another concern with oranges that many people overlook. They contain natural sugars that create spikes in your blood, glucose levels, just like the other fruits we've discussed. So you're getting a double hit: acid that irritates your joints combined with sugar that promotes inflammation. The result is stiffness, pain, and weakness that makes you feel like you're aging faster than you should be. This is why so many people start to believe they're getting too old to walk comfortably, when in reality, they might just be eating the wrong foods. The connection between diet and leg pain isn't always obvious, but it's very real, and recognizing it can be the key to feeling more like yourself again. Our sixth and final fruit might surprise you because it's often considered a healthier choice than other fruits. If a fruit is tart, seems less sweet, is green and crisp, many people assume it's better for them. But this fruit hides a dangerous combination that can be particularly troublesome for your legs. I'm talking about green apples, the crisp, tart fruit that many people choose specifically because it doesn't taste as sweet as other apples. Green apples appear clean and healthy, they're crunchy and tart, and many people eat them as evening snacks, thinking they're making a smart choice. But green apples carry two compounds that can create real problems for your leg health: malic acid and hidden natural sugars. The malic acid is what gives green apples their characteristic sour taste, but it can irritate sensitive intestines and inflamed joints. Some people experience thigh pain, knee stiffness, or a burning sensation in their feet shortly after eating green apples, and they never make the connection between the fruit and their symptoms. The hidden sugars in green apples are particularly problematic because people don't expect them to be there. Since the apple tastes tart rather than sweet, you might not realize that you're still consuming sugars that can disrupt your blood glucose levels. For those of us with slower metabolisms, this means more stiffness, more pain, and more fatigue in our legs. The deceptive thing about green apples is that they seem like a light, healthy choice, so people often eat them without concern, especially as evening snacks or afternoon treats. But this frequent consumption gradually affects your body, and when combined with other symptoms you might already be experiencing, it can contribute to that feeling of your body shutting down or becoming less responsive. Now that we've covered All 6 problematic fruits. I want to share some hope with you. Just because some fruits can work against your leg health doesn't mean all fruits are harmful. In fact, there are several fruits that can actually support your strength, reduce inflammation, and help you maintain the mobility you value so much. Let me tell you about the fruits that can be your allies in this journey toward better leg health. Red berries like blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries are powerhouses of nutrition with relatively low sugar content and high levels of antioxidants that fight inflammation. Cherries, when eaten in small quantities, can actually help reduce uric acid levels and calm irritated joints. Avocados, yes, they're technically fruits, provide healthy fats that protect your joints and help regulate blood sugar levels. Papaya contains natural enzymes that support healthy digestion and are gentle on your joints. Pears, with their skin, provide natural sweetness in moderation and can give you energy without causing dramatic spikes in your blood sugar. These fruits actually work in your favor, supporting your body's natural healing processes and providing nutrition that strengthens rather than weakens your legs. Now you understand that not all fruits are created equal, and just because something is natural doesn't mean it's automatically good for everyone. Some fruits help, some fruits hinder, and what matters most is making informed choices based on how your body responds. Listen, if you've stayed with me through this entire presentation, it tells me that you care deeply about your health, your strength, and your ability to maintain your independence as you age. I want you to know something important. It's not too late to make changes. It's not too late to start over, to strengthen your legs, to walk with more confidence and less pain. You don't have to accept discomfort as an inevitable part of aging, and you're definitely not alone. In this journey, aging isn't about becoming weak or giving up the activities you love. It's simply your body's way of asking for different kinds of support. Sometimes that support starts with something as simple as changing what's on your plate, what you choose for breakfast, or what you reach for when you want an afternoon snack. You can make one small change at a time, and before you know it, you might notice that pain decreasing, stairs becoming easier to climb, and your body feeling more present and responsive in your daily life. This is how transformation begins. With awareness, with small changes, and with the understanding that you have more control over how you feel than you might have realized. Your legs carry your freedom, your independence, and your ability to engage with the world around you. They deserve your attention and care, and now you have new information to help you provide that care more effectively. I hope this information has been valuable to you, and I'd love to hear about your experience with it. Please share this knowledge with someone you care about, someone who might also be experiencing unexplained leg pain, weakness, or mobility challenges. Your willingness to share could be the gift that helps them reclaim their strength and comfort. I want to hear from you in the comments. Tell me if this information has helped you make connections you hadn't considered before. Share your story with our community, because your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Let me know what you've learned from this presentation and how you plan to use this information to support your health. Remember, every story shared is a light for someone else who might be walking the same path, and together we can support each other in aging with strength, dignity, and joy.